The Ara Pacis was ordered by the Roman Senate to be built on July 4th in the year 13 BC to commemorate the return of Augustus from his victories in Hispania and Gaul. It was dedicated on January 30th in the year 9 BC as a monument to the peace brought to the empire and to forever remind the good citizens of Rome of the long-lasting peace and prosperity that these military undertakings represented. The altar's original location was in the north end of the Field of Mars, just outside the city of Rome, near the Tiber River. Unfortunately, the relentless flooding of the Tiber led to the altar constantly being deluged by water. Precautionary measures were taken to protect the Ara Pacis from the ground level rising by building a wall, which in the end proved to be unsuccessful. It was lost for more than a millennium. The first sign of the rejuvenation of the Ara Pacis was around 1536. In the palace of the Via de Lucina, an engraving done by Agostino Venzinio was found. It was a depiction of a swan spreading its wings with a large piece of spiraled frieze nearby. In 1859, during some recovery work on the Peretti Palace, the base of the altar was rediscovered. Not all the fragments were brought out for fear of endangering the walls of the palace. It wasn't until 1903 that a request was sent to the Ministry of Public Education to continue excavations. In July of 1903, restoration was stopped when it became clear that the renovations could and would endanger the stability of the palace. On January 20th, 1937, it was proposed to reconstruct the altar in its original location. However, this was rejected due to an existing palace that would have to be destroyed in order to do so. Numerous sites were taken into consideration, but the final decision ultimately rested in Mussolini's hands. He wanted to glorify fascism through the reincarnation of this ancient monument. He ordered the fragments to be recovered and the altar to be reconstructed near the tomb of Augustus under a colonnade building. With the onset of World War II, reconstruction came to a halt, ceasing for another 30 years. The Ara Pacis was constructed of Luna marble. The time-consuming process of reconstruction includes putting together several small pieces so it could be viewed as it was originally intended by Augustus. The two pieces that are the best preserved are at the back. In one relief, the central figure is believed to be the goddess of peace, surrounded by children, animals, and foliage. On the other side of the door is a scene believed to be Aeneas, founder of Rome. Also depicted in the background of this scene is a small shrine containing the Penates, or household gods of Rome. To the lower left, a white sow can be seen, prophesied to Aeneas where to place Rome. Along with the children, Aeneas appears to be preparing a sacrifice. Along the sides are processions. The south side is Augustus with his family, including a priest, his son-in-law, and a child believed to be his adopted son Drusus. The north side shows a procession of toga-wearing priests, one with his toga pulled over his head, who was probably also Augustus. At the end is a young man wearing a tunic, carrying a jug and a box, who was probably a temple slave. Augustus brought about many building and improvement projects in his time. The Ara Pacis is one of his most magnificent achievements. Roman architecture is some of the finest, most admired architecture across the globe. Many of the architectural techniques that the ancient Romans established are still used today. The Roman people's contributions to architecture have stood the test of time.